Hey everyone, welcome to Two Guys Making Pride, where Gen X meets Gen Y. Enjoy the show.
I've been on a couple of marine transports back in the day when I was in the Marines, and those are not even the biggest ships that the Navy generally puts out there. And not anywhere near like an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
And just the massiveness of you looking at these things at the dock, let alone being on them and going inside, you know, and seeing how different the hallways are shaped.
Hmm.
Make a hole. You can't just walk shoulder to shoulder. Someone has to turn. There's etiquette and protocols, and so just imagine in that day how things had to operate.
And that's the amazing part is the way that it was like set up because there was only, if you believe the Bible, there's only 8 people on board, and then all the animals. And yes, it's not two of every animal on the planet. That's a big misconception. I understand why they say that to kids in school, but really it was two of every kind, not species, kind. So, for instance, with dogs,
Hmm.
right? It's canid kind. So they're not going to have two wolves, two foxes, two coyotes, two Doberman. No, it's they had two canids on board, and from those two canids came
Other breeds.
all the other breeds and species. Same thing with the cats. They didn't have lions and tigers and lynxes. No, they had two feline, and then after that, that's when they spread out. So they actually worked out the numbers, and for at the time all the kinds, it would have been like 6,000 some odd kinds, and that would actually fit on the ark.
Pairs.
Pairs, right? Whew, right. And of course, that was land and air because the only things that survived the flood were the sea creatures.
Hmm.
So they actually go scientifically, well, how could they fit X on there and where would they fit? And the thing like, oh, are they going to have two full size elephants? No, not full size adult elephants. They'd bring a male and female babies, smaller ones, so that there's more room.
Just before breeding age.
Right, just before like breeding age. So
Yeah.
when the ark finally opened up and they can start doing their thing,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, when I think of, phenomenal, architecture like that, okay, I think about the pyramids in
Hmm.
Egypt, some of the old structures in Greece, in Italy, from the Roman Empire.
We've lost so much technology.
Yes, and that was the point I was driving at. That I think when we think of old stuff, we think of, oh, like the 1800s or maybe the Dark Ages. But so much knowledge and technology was lost from
Hmm.
before the Dark Ages, all the way back up to the
Greece,
Egyptians.
Rome, cement from Rome. They weren't able to replicate cement until the 1800s. And 2,000 years ago in Rome, they were building the Colosseum and stuff out of cement.
Yes.
I mean, um, in the time of Greece, they had a form of a steam engine, but they used it more for just show and play. But they actually had it. We didn't, again, get the steam engine going up again until the late 1700s, early 1800s. I mean, we lost. If we didn't go through the Dark Ages
Hmm.
and we didn't lose the library at Alexandria, we would probably be Star Trek technology by now. I mean,
Yes.
we lost 300 years easy
Yes.
of advancement.
Yeah.
And but again, if something, this being a prepping show, if the shit hit the fan in a huge way, that was a civilization ending event, not human ending. Humans would still be around, but we'd have to start over. You'd have pockets of technology for a while, but think of it this way: you could be a scientist and your wife is an engineer, but those things aren't important. At that point, survival is important.
Yes.
You're going to make sure your kids know how to grow food, hunt, and do all the things needed for survival. You're not going to bother teaching them algebra and trigonometry.
Hmm.
So, right there, within one generation, almost all of your knowledge is gone, unless you have some books and whatnot. And books don't last forever. So, that's why it's so easy. People don't understand how thin the line is of civilization and living very, very primitive, and how quick you can lose everything and how long it takes to get it back. That's why I have books galore here in here in the bunker, in the main house. Everything from surgery and trauma and like medical books, engineering books, building books, everything like that, because God forbid something like that happens again, and we don't have the time to teach our children because we're teaching them how to survive. At least they'll have the books to go back to somewhat and maybe reteach themselves,
Yes.
give them a little boost.
Yeah. Well, it's like if every time you have these kind of setbacks, like you were saying, survival is the first thing. And then once you get through a survival phase, and then you get to where you have a larger and larger population, then it's like resource management. And then you're forced to innovate and rethink. And then it's like, okay, since we don't know the old ways, or we don't have those kind of materials or resources, now we have to find a new way of doing it. And a lot of times it might even be better.
Yeah,
you
could
know.
be, yeah.
And who can be first?
Hmm.
I mean, it was very close at the end of the Second World War. I mean, we ended up getting the nuclear weapons first and using them, but the Germans were
Close behind.
close behind, and we got a lot of their technology added to our own, which helped us in the space race against the Soviets. So it's
Stage
interesting
race.
how these
We've
things
never
happen.
been to the moon.
Yeah.
The Earth is flat.
That's a global phenomenon.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please remember to like and subscribe and share with your friends. We will see you next time.